Hello guys, this is Jones10395 with another AIRSOFT review for you today. This will be of my G36C, or the technical name that JG gives it is the G608. Start this review off right away, starting with the front at the muzzle, which obviously has to be orange to comply with your laws, but you can remove it and get an aftermarket muzzle or suppressor or barrel extension if you choose. So near there you also have your two sling mounts on either side, because this is a very ambidextrous friendly gun. Lefties and righties can use it easily, and I'm a lefty, so that's good for me. You can get rails, aftermarket rails here. When you buy the JG version, it won't come with rails, and they're around $15. Right here is a pin you can remove to take the forearm off, and that is where the battery compartment is, unless you move it back after you buy it, which is very easy to do. You just have to spend some money. And the battery that comes with it will be an 1100 milliamp nickel metal hydride battery, not a LiPo or anything like that, although you can easily upgrade to a LiPo, which I would highly recommend. It also comes with your standard trickle charger you plug into your wall. That doesn't have a timer or any way to tell you when it's done charging, so that's another reason to buy a smart charger. The charging handle is right here, ambidextrous also. It can go to the left or the right side of the weapon. The function of the charging handle is to reveal the hop up. It doesn't put a round in the chamber or anything like that. So that's what the charging handle does. Right down here you will find your magazine release. Put your magazine out, it's a magazine release. 470 round high capacity magazine comes with it, which can also be clipped together with another magazine. I'll show you that later in the video. There isn't that big of a clip that comes with it, or click, when you put the magazine in. But that's because this is a seasoned gun. I've had it for 3 years and it is still working fine, which is a testament to the quality of JG. The magazine release is very easy to get to when you're like just coming off of firing and you're out. You can easily press it with your pointer finger, put a new magazine in. The trigger, your normal trigger, is very similar to the MP5 trigger. You have your safety fire mode, semi-automatic, and fully automatic. And my fire selection switch doesn't make that nice clicking sound, but yours will, because once again this is an old model. You have a foldable stock on this guy. You just press in this big button right there, fold it over, pull it up over this kind of catch. It also doubles as a brass deflector for the real thing. Pull it up over and it won't come off, at least with the weight of the gun. I'm sure if you pry it'll come off, but you don't really want to do that. You have sling mounts, or one sling mount rather, back here, and the iron sights. I personally enjoy them very much. Sometimes I don't like to run any optics on here. Actually, most of the time I should say I don't like to run any optics, but if you can see, they're just your normal G36C, or G36C iron sights, which also have a short range ghost sight or peephole in the back, then your long range, and you can't change your front. Actually, you can with aftermarket options, of course. And now I will show you how I like to have my G36C set up. So this is how I like to have my G36C set up. I'll start from the front, as I did with the review of the gun, and bring my back and tell you a little bit more about the gun. The suppressor on here is not a barrel extension, it's a homemade suppressor by me, which does suppress it a very small amount. It's an airsoft gun, so there's not many gases to suppress the sound with. Most of the sound comes from the gearbox, which it will be shooting around 375 to 400 FPS, but I put a 470 FPS spring in here, so it shouldn't go any lower than around 390. That's what I did. You got your foregrip here. I told you I like to have that up here. Got my two magazines. I don't really need a third magazine because this is a 470 round high capacity magazine, and I really don't think I would need to use over, what is that, 940 rounds or something like that. So as I showed you or told you earlier, they can clip together, just like that. Magazines clip together, very easy to take apart. So if you're like in the middle of a big firefight, you just switch magazine real quick. It's that easy, and then you're ready to go again. The optic I have in here is a G&P 551 replica of the EOTech 551 holographic sight. It runs off of LR44 batteries, and it is attached to the top rail of my G36C right here. If you have a low riding optic, you can also remove the iron sights. There are pegs. If you can see, there's a peg right there next to the screw, and then on the front right there's a peg. And I think it's Echo One that makes these, but you can also buy rails to go in place of these that will lie flush with the existing rails. That's a pretty cool thing. I almost bought them, and I might even buy them, but probably not. So, just showing you how you can customize this guy. If you want, you can also remove the stock. There's a pin you would take out right here. Have a stockless G36C. Let me move these magazines real quick. And you can also buy aftermarket stocks, which are very easy to put in place of the stock. Speaking of which, it's not a plastic butt where you put your shoulder. It's got a nice rubber pad on there. Rubber. So, for any kick that needs to be absorbed. Yeah, that was a joke. There's no kick on your stuff. Anyways, so that's it for this guy. Hope you enjoyed the review, found it helpful, and depending on where you buy, you can get this really cheap or really expensive. I would personally probably go for the cheap version. But great model to start customizing off of, but it's great for any seasoned player or beginner player. So I hope you find this helpful. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.